Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Wonder Seasons Art. This is another watercolor painting process, and I will be going through the process of creating a Florida salt marsh scene. These are coastal areas. A lot of times you'll find them up on the panhandle. It's where there's lower tide activity, I think, and you get these big grassy wilderness areas that have these canals and there's salt water in there, and there's all sorts of wildlife, and they're beautiful. Low horizons, rolling clouds, very interesting places. So I want to just do this little Florida scene and practice, because I don't do a lot of landscapes, but I want to. So I'm in the process of increasing my skill set and learning and watching other people, looking at landscape paintings, and just going through the process of figuring it out. And I hope you guys will learn something from my experience. So I'm just taping down the paper so it doesn't buckle, and getting the watercolor. So here I'm about to start the watercolor process, and notice, boop, it's already blue. I forgot to turn the camera on. I keep forgetting to do the technical part. I get excited about the art part. So okay, all I did was put in a sort of a cobalt blue sky wash, and then I did a fainter cobalt blue at the bottom on the water. I wanted to echo the sky, like a reflective kind of thing. And now I'm just filling in with some green for all the tidal grasses, or the salt marsh kind of. It's like seas of these kind of grasses in the waters. This is 140-pound Canson paper. It's not cotton, it's just pulp paper. It's good. It will start to get grumpy after excessive use. I'm going to try some of the cotton paper. I just got some. I'm going to try some of that soon. But it's good. This is especially great for practicing. It's pretty affordable. I took a sheet and cut it in half, so I got two little surfaces to work on. And here I'm just quickly doing first pass on the sky, the grass, the distant horizon, doing the little palm trees, putting in I think a mid-tone green, and then some duller greens, little hints of some of the yellows like in the grass. And now I'm just working on more of this distant, like tree lines in the distance, where they're dark-ish, but they're not very dark. Remember, in a landscape outside, the darkest things are closest to you, and things get hazier and less dark, more grays and softer as they go distant, as they go off into the horizon. Atmospheric perspective. So, and here I'm just putting some yellows into the clouds. Now this is from a reference image of some sort of salt marsh thing. So I'm not exactly following the image, but I was just using it as a rough guide for color ideas. And then I'm just sort of putting in some stuff. I always find myself not following the picture exactly. I don't know, just my temperament. And I'm trying to get some of the clouds, they get these big thunder clouds in the distance, and there'll be these little runner clouds that sort of come closer. They're like thinner, they just move around real fast. You'll see all these different varying cloud structures, especially when you're near the sea. Florida has very aggressive cloud movement. They're quite beautiful. So putting in a little bright greens, but then I wanted to tone that down, so I'm putting in touches of orange. Is it like a warm brown? And that's got a little bit of an orange earth tone in it. I think that's yellow ochre. And then there's some raw sienna over there. I think I have a brown ochre I've never used before. I've been putting that in some of these scenes. I'm trying to keep the colors dull to start. You can only go as bright as whatever comes out of the tube. So if you just immediately use the bright of the tube, you've already gone to 100, and you're better off toning everything down and then saving your brights for later. So that's what I'm trying to do. Just coming in, washing more sky work. This is probably a second pass. Yeah, it should be second pass. And so you can do multiple layers. The better quality of paper you have, the more you can kind of play with that. This is a, I think it's a cobalt deep, which is like a beefier cobalt blue. And I'm just mixing in some like purples. I think it's like a rose madder. Or some alizarin. I'm trying to mix some of those into the front clouds. One for just like the color pop, but just to help create a little sense of depth. And just putting in like the gray bottoms of clouds where the sun hits them on the top so strong, but the bottoms have these little gray undernotes. Working on the distance. And you see it's like the blues have bled into the cloud, but that's, I mean, it's okay. I don't want the cloud to look like it's a rock solid object. I kind of want it to be slightly fluffy. I mean, thunderclouds tend to have hard edges, but I wanted it to be a little softer. I don't know. It's a learning experience. I gotta practice with my clouds. And trying to get some blues in there. You know, clouds are full of varying shades from the sunlight to different tones from the sky. And then I'm trying to mirror some of the bold cobalt color in the top. Like what's above, there's some down below. So I'm trying to put some of that dappled sunlight edge of clouds into the water. Some sort of mirroring effect. And I've sped these things get sped up like 500%. This thing took me well over an hour over multiple sessions to do. But I'm speeding it up so you can just see the entire process. If you even sit through the entire 15 minutes of this video, I applaud you. But I think it's interesting to see. And I'll be doing some more of these to see how they come out. And so here, as I get closer, I keep the background like blurry, more abstracted. And as I get closer, I want there to be more defined marks. Ideas that you can see the details a little closer. So maybe the grasses and the reeds, the edges where there's like debris, or the edge of the shadows, and the trees sort of foreground-ish. It's not, it's more foreground. So you can see some of the palm fronds. I'm trying to get those details in there, and I'm trying to use different colors, because like a lot of times palm trees are kind of a dull green, and they have a lot of these dead palm fronds that hang at the bottom. And there's a lot of yellows and browns in the palm fronds. And then I was just trying to mirror in the water reflections so that maybe it seems like water there on the edge. This is a puzzle I have not dealt with a great deal, so I'm gonna work on more of it. By God, I'm gonna figure it out. So doing, again, reinforcing as things dry, and I see that it needs more attention, I'll go back to it. But I like to get a pass in and just leave it alone, and then I'll evaluate, and then I'll just do another pass if I need to. So I can make it darker, but without making it too dark, if that makes sense. And then I'm trying to fluff the edges of the clouds a little bit. Putting in some more blues. And I think I was doing hand gestures to show you guys what I was doing, but I didn't take into account that I was going to speed this up 500%. So we'll probably just have to ignore those. So here I'm coming back, it's dried. And I spritzed the paper just so it had some moisture on it, but it's kind of dry and things are drying pretty quick. And I'm just sort of putting in some color variation. I'm sort of blurring, fuzzing colors into the edges, putting in a little bit more of that sun dapple yellow kind of look on the clouds. The idea is that maybe the sun is behind us setting. So punching on top of the clouds there, you get some yellows. And then noodling in some more grays under these front clouds. And then just coming back and working in the foreground again. And just trying to work my way forward with more details. It's got to have some visual interest in it. And then also I didn't want it to be 100 million little strokes. I want it to be kind of loose. If I really wanted it, I don't know. I'm just not that kind of a detailed artist. I like things being more painterly, I guess. So I'm punching in some of the darker browns to give some contrast depth or contrast variation. I don't know. It's just nice punches of the warm browns in there, nice and dark. And then I'm putting in some reeds or whatever those things are in the front. So I thought the piece came up pretty good. I don't think it's bad at all. And it's just, practice. It's the beginning. It's a process. I'm trying to figure out what to do next. I think maybe another critter, maybe a flamingo. I don't know why. A flamingo or a hummingbird or something. I'll try some sort of another bird. We did a peacock. And maybe I'll do something like that. And then I got to find another landscapey kind of scene. And since I'm up in the North Georgia area, maybe I should do some sort of mountainy kind of scene. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this process and listening to me ramble about trying to do this scene. So thank you. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.